Hi there. My friend Suzanne had said that, because I just wrote the new song Truther, and I posted it on a few groups, and I put all my videos of my music on Joyce the Voice and on YouTube under Joyce the Voice, or Joyce Catalano, Joyce the Voice. But I also, any songs related to the parental rights movement, I put on Music and Arts for Parental Rights and Children group. And so most of you, or many of you, actually are in that group, unless, if in the movement, that is. But it's really funny because she asked me, Joyce, why don't you make videos? I'd like to hear your thoughts on being a truther. And, well, I don't feel qualified to speak to all of the things that I read and that I believe or disbelieve or question, because my memory sucks. I can't even sing my songs without sheet music in front of me. So, but I don't believe, I'll say one thing, that just because I'm a truther, it doesn't mean I'm a conspiracy theorist, because I do look at everything analytically. And the conspiracy is not what a truther is believing, it's what a truther is questioning, because the conspiracy is actually derived by a corrupt government or corrupt narrative that we're not told the truth through the mainstream media and propaganda. And so we ask the questions how and why. So we're more like conspiracy analysts rather than theorists, because we're not the one who generate the event or the, reasons about how it happened. We just can look analytically at what's going on, and there's a lot of holes because it's fabricated. And so we ask the questions, well, how come this doesn't logically make sense? And how come this doesn't matter? And we can draw conclusions from that. So that's what truther is about. I'm also I don't belong to a party. I'm nonpartisan. I am a political atheist. I'm an independent all my life, and I believe a true American should be independent in the sense that you should always question. You should look at all the pieces from both sides. I don't believe you should be purely one way or the other. I think that's pretty black and white thinking, and life isn't black and white. That people will say, well, I'm, on the higher level, I'm more fiscal, and on the lower level, I'm more social, government. That's probably how I generally would go. But basically, I'm a nonconformist. So, and that is all American, being a nonconformist. I mean, that was how we fought the Revolutionary War, and we won our independence. And I really always went with the independent party, which is most of us anyway. People tend to forget. In fact, they didn't even talk about the independents during the last presidential election. They always talk about the independent vote, the independent vote. Never, not once, did they talk about the independent vote, because they knew a lot of independents wanted Bernie, and they knew that they were going to swing, but they didn't want to admit it. That's what my feeling is. Anyway, I have a lot of feelings. But so I look up truther, because Susan says, oh, look up truther. You're a truther. So you wrote the song. So I go into Bing. I'm going to turn this camera around. I go into Bing, and I see truther, and I put YouTube because my videos are there. And you just scroll up just a tiny bit, and there I am. Now let's see if we do Google. I didn't even do this yet myself. Truther. I'm going to type in truther. YouTube. Let's see if I come up. Well, I'm not on the very top. Truther girls, truther. Let's see. Truther t-shirts, truther Donald Trump. Latest 9/11 truther. Oh, he was. Yeah. That was back then. Yeah, I don't see me here. I was on Bing. That was cracking me up. It might be. Let me go one more. I don't know if it'll show the picture or not. I may have missed it and it just has words. I don't know. Anyway, I just thought that was funny. There I am. To all my truther friends. So that's my truther video. She wanted a truther video. I don't have much to say except for I like to sing. And there's too much to say about all the other subjects. I like to watch Trish and Bish. I like to watch Lionel Nation. I like to watch The Sane Progressive. I like to watch Holly no, I can't say her last name. Zoan Politicon, she goes by. Let me flip this around again. I like to watch, let's see. I don't like to watch any mainstream media at all. I read some articles. I like the independent news. So basically, that's my video on being a truther. So, Suzanne, this is it. All right. I'm going to be actually at 10:30, 10:15, probably in about an hour, I'm going to be singing on a radio show done, by Brian Lee. Oh, my goodness, I forgot the name of it. But I'll be singing on that later. Let's see. I'll tag it to my page, my Facebook page, and I'm singing for a radio show in Georgia in 2 weeks, on the 21st, 23rd. I don't remember. I'll post that too, and because I'm going to be going to Washington D.C. on the 26th and Georgia on the 25th for the memorial services of Senator Nancy Schaefer, who was a Georgia state senator who had one term, lost the next term because she was a whistleblower, and a woman after my own heart, and she was whistleblowing on the corruption in family court and children protective services, and the business that they made out of this with the Social Security fund giving incentives to the state, to the counties, to throw children into foster care or to get adoption, as well as now President Trump is reversing that, thank God. So he listened, but we still have another part of that, which is called Title 4D, because that was Title 4E and B. Title 4D D is when children are, when there's two parents and there's court-mandated child support. There's also money there that they're profiting from, and that's the next thing we have to go after. Because it becomes an industry, and this all happened. Mondale started it with the children protective services and stuff, but Clinton in '97 made it, took the incentive money and made it into an industry, parallel to the prison industry. So the foster care industry is actually run, if you think about it, like the prison industry. Some states have privatized foster care agencies, which is kind of crazy, privatized. I mean, it's necessary for those children who are seriously in need of foster care, but many of them aren't. Many of them aren't. And they will force family members to take foster care classes to become foster parents rather than being their guardianship, for instance, because they make money on it. When I asked my lawyer advisor, when I asked the CPS caseworker, when I asked everybody, nobody could tell me, well, why do you want him to go from guardianship to foster care? Nobody would give me an answer. They couldn't give me a straight answer, not one. They just looked at me because I went right to the question. So, because I'm a truther, I ask the questions. I say why, how and why, how and why. So anyway, I think anybody who has been jerked by the family court, and most people are, many people have been, I think that they should be truthers as they realize the conspiracy and the corruption going on, and that everything isn't all what people are made to believe. And you know, when you step out of that family courtroom, everybody says, oh, so you had an issue with your child and your child was taken from you. You must be a terrible parent. And you know the truth. The truth is you weren't. You know that people were lying, and so this is what happens, and then they go along with it, and you wonder why. Well, it's all about the money. Follow the money. So we'll see what happens after the states are supposed to be in compliance in next October with the Family First Act that Trump signed a couple of weeks ago, which will reverse Title 4 B and E, which is the foster care and adoption incentives that they get from Social Security. We're losing our money from Social Security fund to give the counties this money. Thousands of dollars for 10,000, whatever, for each child. It's unbelievable. I don't even know the amounts. I've heard different things, but anyway, Nancy Schaefer is the one, Senator Nancy Schaefer is the one who had her access because of her position. She had access to a lot of documents that we can't get, even with having what do you call it when you release the paperwork? You see, my memory sucks. When you release paperwork from the government and you have to submit whatever, you get paperwork, documents. And so she was able to get stuff that we couldn't even get as easily or readily, and she also knew more, whatever, she could dig further. So anyway, she was assassinated with her husband, and they called it a murder-suicide. They were married, over 40 years, whatever. They have many grandchildren. He was in full support of her. She was in the middle of a documentary, which was an expose on what she was discovering. And even though she lost her term as a senator, the second term, she continued the fight. And because she continued the fight and she was working on this documentary and other things, and a lot of people in the movement know her. So when I go to Georgia, I wrote a song, a tribute song that I'm going to be singing in Georgia and Washington. So, and I felt so inspired by her because she's a whistleblower, because she's a truther, and a woman after my heart. I've had threat calls from my videos, my story, medical malpractice, Joyce's story, hashtag number 8. It's a long name, but if you go to Joyce's story, hashtag number 8, you'll see what happened is after they started calling me crazy, the doctors, they tried to call me crazy, and they couldn't call me crazy because I wasn't crazy. But then they got the court involved, family court involved. They got my family involved. And then I caught the doctors with their pants down, basically, because I recorded them. I caught them. And what they did was they secretively did biopsy surgery, and they slipped me an abortion pill. Now, I didn't realize I was yet pregnant. I knew I wasn't feeling well. And on video number 8, you'll hear what they knew. You'll hear what they did. I was supposed to be alert and sedated, but not knocked out for this procedure. It was a procedure to look down at my heart with the ultrasound scope. And that's it, through my throat, so they can get close to see my valves, to see a hole in my heart, and to rule it out. And what they did was they did surgery, they did biopsies, and they slipped me an abortion pill. And they talked about my diagnosis, and they talked about my son, this doctor who I've only met once by shaking his hand in the office because I was meeting with my other cardiologist, my treating cardiologist, and this is the one in the group who specialized in ultrasound. He's the one who did all this to me, talking about my son, talking about me. Of course, he's talking about me, but talking about the diagnosis that's not on record. Doing things to me. He's not even a surgeon. slipping me an abortion pill without consent, so that's murder, and not even being a GYN. So that was Dr. David Sedigat. And so again, if you go to Medical Malpractice Joyce's Story hashtag number 8, you'll hear the actual events of everything that they did. And how did I record it? They didn't lock my stuff up in a locker. They had me put all my stuff in a bag and under the gurney. So I'm like, all right. I flipped on the recorder. I'm like, because they had done things to me before that, and that's why I was trying to call them out. And they were calling me crazy. I was like, I'm not crazy. So I'm like, I wonder what they would say if I'm at, if you know, when I'm, or whatever. I wonder what's going to happen. I may not remember when I wake up because I'll be sedated and drugged up. But I was knocked out. So I think I'm ending my, all right, so I'm going to say goodnight because my battery's dying. So good night. I'll see you later. I'll be singing in about an hour.